Part 7 begins at the moment when what was hidden is no longer allowed to remain unseen, because heaven has decided that concealment has served its purpose and revelation must now occur. This is the phase where manifestation does not ask permission from circumstance, it overrides it. God does not wait for environments to agree, He changes environments by entering them, and now He is entering your visible reality. Archangel Michael moves ahead of this manifestation like thunder before a storm. Not to warn, but to clear resistance that would otherwise attempt to explain away what God is about to do. Explanation is no longer necessary. Results will speak louder than interpretation. This is why fear has gone silent, because fear only survives where outcomes are uncertain, and uncertainty has been removed. Certainty has been sealed. Sealed decisions in heaven produce irreversible motion on earth. Motion has already begun. You may feel it as urgency without anxiety, movement without chaos, pressure without panic. This combination is rare. It signals divine acceleration. Acceleration here is not reckless speed, it is compressed fulfillment. What should have taken years will now unfold in months. What should have required effort will now happen through alignment. What once demanded struggle will now respond to authority. Authority is being recognized beyond your awareness. Doors are aligning before you reach them. Resistance is dissolving before confrontation. Conversations are shifting before you speak. This is not coincidence. This is governance. God governs outcomes now, not just direction. Archangel Michael enforces this governance by blocking interference at the level of timing. Timing manipulation was the enemy's final weapon. That weapon has been removed. Delay no longer responds to pressure. Delay has lost its grip. Lost grip causes collapse. Collapse often looks like sudden opportunity for you and sudden confusion for others. Do not explain your acceleration. Explaina feels effortless because desire has been purified. Purified desire wants only alignment. Alignment produces peace. Peace stabilizes identity. Stabilized identity carries visibility without distortion. Distortion ruins testimony. Testimony must remain clean. Clean testimony amplifies impact. Impact is expanding beyond what you imagined. Imagination limited capacity. God exceeds imagination deliberately. Exceeding imagination ensures humility remains intact. Humility is protection. Protection must remain around influence. Influence now extends further than your immediate circle. Unseen observers are watching. Decisions you make will affect people you have never met. This weight is real. Weight here is not burden. It is trust. God trusts you. Trust from God is the highest honor and the greatest responsibility. Responsibility will require restraint. Restraint is strength. Uncontrolled power destroys. Controlled power builds. God always builds. Destruction only removes what threatens. Building. Removal may still occur around you. Sudden endings, sudden shifts, sudden separations will continue. Do not mourn what exits. Exits make room. Room is needed for expansion. Expansion without space creates pressure fractures. Fractures damage structure. Structure must remain intact. Structure now includes discipline, silence, obedience, and courage to move when instructed. Instruction may come quickly. Hesitation would now feel unnatural. Unnatural hesitation signals misalignment. Misalignment must be corrected immediately. Correction will be gentle if quick, firm if delayed. Do not delay. Obedience now must be immediate. Immediate obedience protects momentum. Momentum is sacred. Sacred momentum carries divine timing. Divine timing opens doors humans cannot close. Closed doors behind you will remain closed. Stop looking back. Looking back slows forward motion. Forward motion is now unstoppable. Unstoppable movement does not mean unchallenged movement. challenges will appear, but they correct posture keeps guidance clear. Guidance will continue. Guidance does not end with manifestation. Manifestation begins a new stewardship phase. Stewardship must be learned. Learning posture must remain. Arrogance would cut off flow. Flow must remain open. Open flow sustains success. Sustained success glorifies God more than sudden breakthrough. God is interested in longevity, not momentary shock. Shock will still happen for observers. Observers will question how this happened. You will know it was obedience. Obedience that no one saw. Obedience that felt lonely. Obedience that required silence. Silence that felt heavy. Heaviness that refined you. Refinement that prepared you. Preparation that positioned you. Positioning that triggered acceleration. Acceleration that now cannot be stopped. This chain is complete. Archangel Michael stands as witness and guardian over this chain. Guardian ensures continuity. Continuity ensures legacy. Legacy matters. Legacy outlives emotion. Emotion fades. Legacy remains. God is not building a moment through you. He is establishing a standard. Standards outlive individuals. Being used to set a standard is rare. Rarity increases pressure. Pressure has been managed. You are ready. Readiness does not mean perfection. It means obedience under instruction. Instruction will now feel intuitive. Intuition here is spiritual sensitivity matured. Maturity recognizes when to speak and when to remain silent. Silence will still be required. Silence protects strategy. Strategy is ongoing. Do not reveal everything God does. Mystery preserves authority. Authority does not overshare. Oversharing weakens impact. Impact must remain strong. Strength now flows quietly. Quiet strength unsettles. Opposition. Unsettled opposition withdraws. Withdrawal creates space. Space allows building. Building will begin visibly. Visible building invites commentary. Commentary must be ignored. Focus must remain on instruction. Instruction remains primary. Nothing replaces it. Not success, not applause, not growth metrics. Obedience remains central. Obedience is what brought you here. Obedience will keep you here. God honors obedience with covering. Covering remains active. Archangel Michael remains stationed. Stationed protection does not leave abruptly. It remains as long as assignment remains. Assignment is active. Activity will increase. Pace will vary. Variation prevents burnout. Burnout would slow progress. God protects you from burnout through discipline. Discipline must be honored. Honor discipline even when success tempts you to relax it. Relaxation without instruction invites vulnerability. Vulnerability here would not destroy you, but it would distract you. Distraction wastes time. Time is valuable. Redeemed time must be stewarded carefully. Careful stewardship ensures multiplication. Multiplication will come. Multiplication increases responsibility. Responsibility requires wisdom. Wisdom will be given. Ask when needed. Humility unlocks wisdom. Pride blocks it. Remain humble. Remain obedient. Remain focused. Part 7 seals this final declaration. Manifestation has begun. Visibility is increasing. Acceleration is active. And what God started in silence will now unfold in undeniable reality under divine authority and angelic enforcement. This is not hype. This is governance. Not emotion, but execution. Not survival, but establishment. You are no longer approaching destiny. You are walking inside it now. This is the hour when hesitation loses its voice and obedience takes control. What God has sealed cannot be reversed by human opinion or spiritual resistance. Part 6 begins where resistance no longer negotiates. because negotiation has expired and enforcement has begun. This is the phase where silence falls in the spiritual realm, not because nothing is happening, but because authority has taken control. When God speaks, chaos responds, but when God decides, chaos is muted. Archangel Michael now moves as a commander, executing what has already been signed in heaven. Execution is different from preparation. Preparation allows struggle, execution allows no debate. Debate is over. Fear attempted its final interference in the last phase, but interference failed because access was revoked. Revoked access causes frustration. Frustration causes reckless opposition. Reckless opposition exposes itself. Exposed opposition loses leverage. Leverage is what sustained delay. Delay has collapsed. Collapse often feels sudden to the one who resisted, but it has been forming quietly for a long time. God dismantles opposition silently before revealing victory publicly. Public victory without private dismantling would invite retaliation. Retaliation has been neutralized. Neutralization is complete. You may feel a strange calm now, even as circumstances appear tense. This calm is not ignorance. It is authority settling in. Authority does not panic. Panic belongs to those losing control. Control has shifted. God governs direction. Archangel Michael governs enforcement. Enforcement here is precise. Precision removes collateral damage. God does not destroy indiscriminately. He removes what threatens purpose. Threats now include distractions disguised as opportunities. Not every open door is divine. Some doors are tests. Tests will increase in subtlety. Subtle tests measure discernment, not faith. Faith has already been proven. Discernment must now mature. Discernment maturity means choosing restraint over excitement. Excitement burns energy. Restraint preserves power. Power must be preserved for decisive moments. Decisive moments are approaching. Vulnerability. Vulnerability invites manipulation. Manipulation will not succeed now. Clarity is too strong. Clarity creates boundaries automatically. Boundaries no longer feel forced. They feel natural. Natural boundaries indicate healed identity. Identity is now stabilized. Stabilized identity can carry weight. Weight is increasing. Increasing weight means increasing responsibility. Responsibility attracts observation. Observation will feel intense. Intensity is normal. Pressure at this level refines leadership. Leadership is emerging visibly. Visibility requires integrity. Integrity now operates without effort. Effortful integrity indicates temptation. Temptation is losing its appeal. Appeal fades when purpose becomes clear. Purpose clarity is sharp now. Sharp clarity cuts off unnecessary desire. Desire must now be aligned, not suppressed. Aligned desire fuels obedience. Obedience fuels momentum. Momentum is accelerating quietly. Quiet acceleration is dangerous for opposition, because it is unnoticed until too late. Too late has arrived. Opposition realizes it cannot stop you. Only slow perception. Perception does not change reality. Reality has shifted. Reality shift feels internal first. External confirmation follows later. Waiting for confirmation would be doubt. Doubt has no room here. Trust governs action. Trust does not require explanation. Explanation belongs to insecurity. Insecurity has been confronted and removed. Removal was painful but permanent. Permanent change feels unfamiliar. Unfamiliarity may feel lonely. Loneliness here is separation, not abandonment. Separation allows clarity. Clarity maintains authority. Authority must remain unpolluted. Pollution would come from compromise. Compromise opportunities will arise disguised as relief. Relief is tempting after pressure. Pressure release can weaken discipline. Discipline must remain intact. Discipline is protection. Protection ensures sustainability. Sustainability matters because this assignment is resistance. Resistance served its purpose. Purpose fulfilled. Resistance dismissed. Dismissal is final. There is no appeal process in this realm. When God closes a case, it stays closed. Archangel Michael enforces closure. Closure may feel abrupt. Abruptness is mercy. Prolonged endings create attachment. Attachment would weaken resolve. Resolve must remain firm. Firmness will be tested by nostalgia. Nostalgia is dangerous. Nostalgia romanticizes captivity. Captivity no longer exists. Freedom now demands responsibility. Responsibility restricts certain freedoms. Restriction here is wisdom. Wisdom protects future joy. Joy will return in a deeper form. Shallow joy came from relief. Deep joy comes from alignment. Alignment produces peace. Peace is now constant. Constant peace does not mean constant ease. It means constant stability. Stability allows consistent action. Consistency builds trust. Trust attracts expansion. Expansion will come suddenly. Sudden expansion will require capacity. Capacity has been prepared. Preparation is complete. Now comes execution. Execution feels different. There is less emotion, more certainty. Certainty feels calm, almost quiet. Do not mistake quiet for weakness. Quiet authority is the most dangerous form to opposition. Loud threats are ignored. Quiet authority is respected. Respect here is enforced, not requested. Enforcement does not announce itself. It manifests through results. Results will speak. Speaking results silence critics. Silence is spreading now, not forced silence, but defeated silence. Defeated silence is heavy. You may sense heaviness lift from environments. Rooms will feel different when you enter. Tension will ease or surface quickly. Surfacing tension reveals what cannot remain. What cannot remain will exit. Exits may be sudden. Sudden exits are protection. Protection ensures focus. Focus must remain sharp. Sharp focus allows precise obedience. Obedience now feels instinctive. Instinctive obedience is a sign of maturity. Maturity carries authority without arrogance. Arrogance would invite correction. Correction is always available, but severity depends on posture. Posture remains humble. Humility keeps correction gentle. Gentleness preserves peace. Peace preserves strength. Strength sustains authority. Authority advances purpose. Purpose glorifies God. This cycle is now established. Cycles reinforce themselves. Reinforcement creates momentum. Momentum will carry you forward even when tired. Tiredness will come. Exhaustion does not equal defeat. Defeat is mental surrender. Surrender will not happen. Resolve is too strong. Strength has been forged through pressure. Pressure has done its work. Now pressure shifts outward. Outward pressure affects surroundings, not you. You become the stable point. Stability attracts others. Attraction brings responsibility. Responsibility must be stewarded wisely. Wisdom will be supplied when needed. Do not hoard strength. Strength multiplies when used obediently. Obedience remains central. Nothing replaces it. Strategies may change. Obedience does not. Archangel Michael remains active. Activity is constant though unseen. Unseen protection is the strongest. Trust it. God remains sovereign. Sovereignty guarantees outcome. Outcome is secured. Timing remains flexible. Flexibility allows God to maximize impact. Impact will exceed expectations. Expectations were limited by past experience. Experience no longer defines capacity. God defines capacity now. Capacity. Part 5 begins at the point where fear no longer has permission to speak, because permission has been revoked by authority. Fear only survives where it is tolerated, and tolerance ends now. God does not negotiate with fear, he replaces it with truth, and truth arrives heavy, undeniable, and final. Archangel Michael steps forward in this phase not as a watcher, but as an enforcer, ensuring that what God declares is not delayed by hesitation. Hesitation once protected you, but protection has shifted forms. What once needed caution now requires courage. Courage here is not emotional boldness, it is disciplined obedience under pressure. Pressure will intensify because resistance senses expiration. Expiration causes panic. Panic causes noise. Noise attempts to distract. Distraction will not succeed. Clarity is too strong now. God has narrowed your focus so sharply that competing voices fade automatically. Fading voices may include familiar ones. Familiarity does not equal authority. Authority belongs only to God. Alignment with authority creates stability. Stability terrifies chaos. Chaos thrived in uncertainty. Uncertainty is gone. Direction is established. Established direction demands movement. Movement exposes what was hidden. Hidden fears surface when movement begins. Surfacing is intentional. Exposure is healing. Unexposed fear would sabotage progress later. God heals now so acceleration later does not cause collapse. Acceleration is coming. Acceleration without healing would fracture identity. Identity must remain whole. Wholeness is being enforced. Enforcement feels intense because fragmentation had become normal. Normal does not mean healthy. God redefines normal now. Normal becomes peace under pressure, clarity under confusion, strength under scrutiny. Scrutiny will increase. Increased scrutiny is confirmation of influence. Influence attracts opposition. Opposition does not signal danger, it signals effectiveness. Archangel Michael neutralizes opposition not by sea. Instability would damage those you are called to impact. Impact matters deeply. Impact is the reason this process feels relentless. God is not harsh, he is thorough. Thoroughness saves lives later. Later matters more than now. Temporary discomfort secures permanent effectiveness. Effectiveness glorifies God, not ego. Ego must remain dismantled. Dismantling ego feels like silence after ambition. Ambition sought recognition. Calling seeks obedience. Obedience often goes unnoticed. Unnoticed. Obedience builds unseen strength. Unseen strength sustains visible influence. Visible influence without unseen strength collapses. God refuses collapse. Refusal manifests as discipline. Discipline now regulates thought, speech, reaction, and timing. Timing is critical. Premature action would expose you unnecessarily. Delayed action would miss opportunity. God controls timing precisely. Precision increases tension. Tension sharpens discernment. Discernment must remain active. Discernment now functions instinctively. You will know what to avoid without explanation. Avoidance will feel natural. Explanation would invite debate. Debate weakens authority. Authority does not debate. Authority moves. Movement here is deliberate, not rushed. Rushing would indicate fear. Fear no longer governs. Governance has shifted. God governs direction. Archangel Michael governs protection. Protection is layered. Visible and invisible. Visible protection appears as favor, restraint, and unexpected assistance. Invisible protection appears as blocked opportunities that would have harmed you. You may feel disappointment briefly. Disappointment will turn into gratitude later. Trust the blockages. Blocked paths are mercy. Mercy prevents detours. Detours waste time. Time has been redeemed. Redeemed time carries urgency. Urgency must not be confused with anxiety. anxiety pressures, urgency directs. Direction feels calm but firm. Calm firmness is your new internal state. Others may feel unsettled around it. Concentrates influence now. Concentration feels intense. Intensity must be stewarded. Stewardship requires rest. Rest is not withdrawal. Rest is recalibration. Recalibration keeps you sensitive. Sensitivity here is spiritual, not emotional. Spiritual sensitivity detects subtle shifts. Subtle shifts will guide major decisions. Major decisions will come faster now. Speed will increase gradually. Gradual increase prevents shock. Shock would destabilize. God prefers sustainable growth. Sustainability requires structure. Structure is forming. Structure includes routine, discipline, boundaries, and silence. Silence will become valuable. Silence amplifies God's voice. Noise diminishes it. Choose silence intentionally. Archangel Michael guards silence by removing unnecessary interruptions. Interruptions may leave suddenly. Sudden endings may occur. Endings will feel abrupt. Abrupt endings are protection. Protection may look severe to outsiders. Outsiders do not see the full picture. Full picture is reserved for obedience. Obedience unlocks understanding. Understanding follows action. Do not demand understanding before obedience. That demand belongs to fear. Fear has no authority here. Authority rests with God. God's authority now flows through your decisions. Decisions will feel heavier. Heaviness is significance. Significance requires humility. Humility keeps posture correct. Posture determines reception. Correct posture receives guidance easily. Guidance will not always be verbal. It may be internal conviction. Conviction must be trusted. Second guessing would weaken momentum. Momentum is building. Building momentum creates friction. Friction generates heat. Heat refines intention. Refined intention produces clean action. Clean action produces impact. Impact glorifies God. Glory is the goal, not comfort, not applause, not. Voice matters. Message must remain sharp. Sharp message requires lived authority. Lived authority is being forged now. Forging is painful. Pain is temporary. Authority is permanent. Permanence requires patience. Patience now is active, not passive. Active patience obeys while waiting. Waiting does not mean stagnation. Waiting means readiness. Readiness keeps posture alert. Alert posture avoids compromise. Compromise would reopen doors God has closed. Closed doors remain closed. Do not attempt to reopen them out of nostalgia. Nostalgia romanticizes captivity. Captivity has ended. Freedom now demands responsibility. Responsibility may feel restrictive. Restriction here is protection. Protection preserves purpose. Purpose is advancing. Advance will become visible soon. Visibility will test integrity. Integrity must remain uncompromised. Compromise would damage witness. Witness matters because others are watching unknowingly. Your obedience will answer prayers you never heard, unseen. Beneficiaries exist. Unseen beneficiaries depend on your perseverance. Perseverance is being strengthened now. Strength will replace fear completely. Fear will attempt one final surge. Final surges are loud but weak. Do not react emotionally. Stand firm. Firmness ends conflict. Conflict ends when authority is recognized. Authority has been recognized in the spiritual realm. Physical manifestation will follow. Manifestation often lags behind decision. Decision has already been made. Heaven has agreed. Archangel Michael stands ready. God remains sovereign. Part 5 closes with this truth sealed. Fear is no longer a factor. Hesitation is no longer permitted. Part 4 enters a zone most people never reach. because this is where identity is no longer negotiated, it is enforced. God does not ask questions here, he issues alignment, and alignment either happens willingly or is compelled by consequence. Archangel Michael stands active in this phase, not behind you, not beside you, but ahead of you, clearing what your future cannot afford to collide with. Collisions delay destiny. Delays at this level become disobedience. God is precise now because precision protects outcomes. Understand this clearly. You are not being rushed, you are being refined to move accurately. Accuracy matters more than speed. Speed without accuracy destroys assignments. This is why pressure feels sharper, because tolerance for error is lower. Lower tolerance is not rejection, it is elevation. Elevated roles demand exact obedience. Exact obedience exposes hidden resistance. Resistance is subtle now, hiding behind logic, reason, and past experience. Experience can become an idol when it replaces instruction. God is breaking experience-based decision-making. From now on, instruction overrides memory. Memory recalls what worked before. Instruction prepares you for what has never been done through you. Archangel Michael severs dependence on old formulas. Formulas limit God. Limitation invites stagnation. Stagnation invites decay. Decay begins silently. God interrupts silence with confrontation. Confrontation feels uncomfortable, but it preserves life. Preservation here is not survival, it is relevance. Relevance matters because your assignment is time-bound. Missing timing equals missing impact. Impact is why pressure exists. Pressure is not punishment. Pressure is preparation. Preparation feels severe only when identity is fragile. Fragility is being removed now. Removal hurts because fragility learned to protect you. Protection that once saved you would now suffocate you. God replaces fragile protection with authority. Authority does not flinch under scrut. Compromise at this level creates spiritual breach. Breach invites interference. Interference distracts focus. Distraction is the enemy's preferred tactic now. Overt attack is ineffective. Subtle diversion is dangerous. Archangel Michael blocks diversion by increasing clarity. Clarity feels like urgency. Urgency here is internal, not external. External urgency is pressure from people. Internal urgency is pressure from purpose. Learn to distinguish them. Responding to people's urgency drains strength. Responding to purpose restores it. Strength restoration is happening even as fatigue appears. Fatigue is physical. Strength is spiritual. Do not confuse them. Physical fatigue requires rest. Spiritual strength requires obedience. Obedience will now energize you unexpectedly. Resistance will drain you immediately. Pay attention to energy shifts. They are diagnostic tools. God is teaching you discernment through response, not emotion. Emotions will fluctuate. Response must remain steady. Steady response creates predictability. Predictability builds trust. Trust invites responsibility. Responsibility is being handed to you now. Responsibility will feel heavier than before. Heaviness here is not burden, it is weight. Weight signifies value. Light things are easily discarded. Weighty things are protected. God is trusting you with weight. Archangel Michael ensures that weight does not crush you by enforcing boundaries around your mind. Mental discipline is no longer optional. Unchecked thoughts would now sabotage authority. Sabotage often comes from within before it comes from outside. Internal sabotage hides behind doubt, comparison, and imagined outcomes. Imagined outcomes paralyze action. God removes imagination-driven fear by demanding action before certainty. Certainty follows obedience, not the other way around. Waiting for certainty is delay. Delay at this stage would be costly. Cost here is not loss of salvation, it is loss of assignment effectiveness. Effectiveness Ma. Weakens message. Message integrity must be preserved. Your life is now part of the message. Inconsistency would undermine credibility. Credibility must remain intact. Archangel Michael guards credibility by exposing misalignment quickly. Exposure will feel abrupt. Abrupt correction is mercy. Slow correction would allow damage. God prefers private disruption over public collapse. Accept disruption. Disruption rearranges priorities. Rearranged priorities clarify focus. Focus narrows. Narrowing. Feels like loss. Loss here is shedding. Shedding removes excess. Excess includes unnecessary relationships, obligations, and expectations. Expectations from others often conflict with assignment. Assignment outranks expectation. Choosing assignment will disappoint some people. Disappointment is unavoidable. Betrayal is not. Do not confuse disappointment with betrayal. God allows disappointment. He addresses betrayal. Archangel Michael differentiates them by revealing motive. Motive exposure will shock you. Some connections were sustained by convenience, not covenant. Convenience dissolves under pressure. Covenant endures. Endurance reveals truth. Truth may hurt initially. Truth heals permanently. God values permanent healing over temporary comfort. Comfort would delay growth. Growth cannot be delayed further. The season of preparation is ending. The season of execution is approaching. Execution requires decisiveness. Decisiveness will replace overthinking. Overthinking is fear. Disguised as wisdom. Wisdom now is simple obedience. Simplicity will feel dangerous to complex minds. Complexity creates illusion of control. Control must be surrendered. Surrender here is strategic. Strategic surrender allows divine intervention. Intervention will occur without announcement. Sudden shifts will happen. Shifts will look coincidental to observers. Coincidence is God's camouflage. Camouflage protects strategy. Strategy is unfolding. You do not need to see the whole map. You need to obey the next instruction. Archangel Michael ensures next step clarity. Clarity may come quietly. Do not expect dramatic signs. Dramatic signs are unnecessary now. Authority recognizes subtle direction. Subtle direction demands attentiveness. Inattentiveness would be costly. Cost would not be fatal, but it would slow momentum. Momentum is building. Building momentum feels like pressure. Increasing. Pressure increases focus. Focus sharpens discernment. Discernment guides action. Action confirms authority. Authority stabilizes identity. Identity now stands firm. Firmness may be mistaken for hardness. Hardness resists God. Firmness responds to God without wavering. Remain firm, not hard. Humility must remain active. Humility keeps correction accessible. Inaccessible correction creates pride. Pride precedes fall. Fall would damage witness. Witness must remain intact. God is guarding witness fiercely. Fierce protection can feel severe. Severity here is love expressed through discipline. Discipline secures future. Future impact depends on present obedience. Present obedience is being tested continuously. Tests will not announce themselves. They will appear as ordinary decisions. Ordinary decisions at this level determine extraordinary outcomes. Do not despise ordinary moments. They carry weight. Weight determines trajectory. Trajectory is shifting upward, upward. Movement increases resistance. Resistance is normal. Resistance confirms direction. Do not interpret resistance as warning. Interpret it as confirmation. Confirmation strengthens resolve.